Hello guys, welcome to another roller coaster video. This time it will be my stepdad's top 12 roller coasters at Cedar Point. We visited the park recently in June, and I recently made my top 12 coasters at Cedar Point, and my stepdad is right here. He's about to list his 12 favorite, but his list will be in a slightly different order than mine because him and I have slightly different opinions about the rides. Just note that, and here he is. He's about to begin the list right now.
All right, I'm Brandon's stepdad, and I'm going to list my top 12 coasters at Cedar Point. And like Brandon said, my list is a little different than his, probably because my body is a lot older than his. So us older guys don't necessarily take the rides the same as the young guys. So here we go. Number 12, I'm starting with Gemini. This wasn't really because of the ride itself per se, with how rough it was or anything. It wasn't that rough of a ride. It was just really a generally boring ride. The most exciting part of this ride was the very end when it came to a stop, and we literally went from about 35 miles an hour to zero, like we hit a brick wall, and threw me against my lap bar, and it was just so violent that I just had no choice but to start laughing because it was ridiculously violent. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way or if it's always that way, but it was pretty crazy. So Gemini coming in at number 12. Number 11 is Blue Streak. Now, there's nothing wrong with this ride, and for a ride as old as it is, really is a phenomenal ride. Um, to this day, it's very entertaining, but again, it's hard for these older coasters to compete with the new steel coasters that can do some pretty wild things. This is just some up and down, a little air time, a little floater time, but overall a good ride, but it's dated, and that's the reason why it's coming in at number 11. Number 10 was Magnum XL. It's a pretty tall ride. Brandon didn't like it much because of the restraints that were hurting his legs. I didn't have that problem. Didn't hurt my legs. And actually, this ride had what seemed to me like the longest free fall feeling coming off the drop hill. So it could have come a little higher than 10, but the rest of the ride was just not all that great. Well, for Cedar Point anyway. Cedar Point's got a lot of great rides. If this ride was in a different park, it would probably be one of their top attractions. But overall, it was just it was a good ride, but it wasn't that great. So that's the reason why it's coming at number 10. Wicked Twister. Now, Wicked Twister was pretty cool. This ride really helped me to build up some nerve for riding the Top Thrill Dragster. Just because it is a vertical, you go vertical with a twist, much like that. And after I got off this ride, which is smaller, I was like, hey, that's very similar to the Top Thrill Dragster. And if I can ride that, I think I can ride the other one. So that's what kind of helped me build up some nerve for that. So that's coming at number 9. It was a fun ride, very short ride, very fast, but it was fun. Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper came in at number 8 for me. Now, this was probably one of the smoother rides in the park. It's very smooth. Has some neat elements, which is why it comes in higher than some of the other ones. But because it is so smooth, it is not that scary or exciting. It's just kind of a nice ride through. The best parts is going through the keyholes there at the gate, which that's a cool element, but wasn't really still enough to push it above 8 in my list. But overall, very fun ride. Maverick. I'm almost surprised that Maverick's going above Gatekeeper because this ride is a little violent. This one hurt my body pretty good, but that's also one reason why it's not higher on the list because it is a great ride. If you got the young body, you can deal with it. It's like riding a bucking bronco.
Yeah, most people put this at like their number 2 at Cedar Point.
Yeah. A lot of people put this higher. I would have put it higher, except for that it's hard on an older person's body, and it's not something that I could ride over and over again.
Yeah,
I did enjoy the ride, but there's some of the other ones that I enjoyed just as much that I could definitely ride over and over. So that's the reason why it's coming in at number 7. Rougarou was fun. It reminded me of some of the coasters I rode in my youth. Just a little longer, had a little more extra stuff to it, more loops and whatnot. It was fun. I enjoyed this ride. I can't really say why it's coming in at number 6 or above Maverick or anything, other than it just stuck out in my head that way that I enjoyed riding it.
I'm sure it was better than Stand Up Mantis was.
Yeah, definitely. But that was fun. All right, this is the Raptor. Now, Raptor was a cool ride. We actually, before riding it, was riding on the Sky Buckets and came across it, and I got a video of it riding, and it was just very, very cool looking video of watching the entire ride as we kind of drifted past it. And this is, we're from Georgia, so this is very much in line with the Batman ride here at Six Flags Over Georgia, so I'm used to this type of under the track coaster with these type of restraints. Reminds me of it, but this is a far superior ride to the Batman that we're used to riding, which is probably why I pushed this one up in my personal list, because I grew up with Batman, but it's always a little harsh on the body. It has some hard rolls in it that I don't particularly care for. This took all that away and just gave it a very nice experience. Really enjoyed this ride. And it's a pretty long ride too.
To be honest, I think this has my favorite color scheme out of the coaster.
As your favorite color scheme?
Yeah,
it's
really
a pretty cool
like
color scheme.
I like the color scheme.
It looks a little more like a snake than a raptor to me, but
yeah.
But yeah, definitely enjoyable ride. I like this a lot. Valraven was cool. I like the way it holds you at the top of the drop hill before it drops you down.
We sat on the very edge in the front seat.
I know I sound like GP, but that to me was very cool. It's something that other rides don't have, and it kind of just gives you that moment of suspense before you drop. It does have a very steep, long drop. It's just different. It's different than the other coasters, right down to the number of seats going across it. You know, you get a lot of people in a row. It was a different ride, and it was a fun ride. When we first got on this, the first day, it was kind of raining a little bit, so we actually stood there for a long time in line. We got right up to the station, was getting ready to get on, and they shut the ride down, so we had to wait till the next day to ride it. So standing through the line twice, it was still worth it. It was a fun ride. Glad we did it. Top Thrill Dragster. Wow. This would come in probably first or second, honestly, if it wasn't just such a short ride. That's the only downside to this, that it is over before you even realize it started practically, because the acceleration is insane, the height is insane, but it's so fast that you hardly even really get a chance to take it in and understand what's going on. I mean, the lift hill on Millennium Force to me was scarier than this hill, this is 100 feet taller, but you're up there so quickly and back down that you don't even get a chance to really comprehend just how high you are, and what's going on. Whereas going up that lift hill in Millennium and you're looking around, you realize you're up there. So overall, excellent ride, hard to compete with. Not too many places have a ride like this, so if you get a chance to ride it, don't chicken out, do it. It's a lot of fun. Steel Vengeance. I know this comes in number 1 for just about everybody, including Brandon. It was a fun ride. Don't get me wrong, it was a fun ride. It was.
We rode it in the rain.
Yeah, we rode it in the pouring rain, which was an interesting experience. Again, with this, these rides, this had a lot of ejector, like forceful ejector on it, which I don't care as much for. I do like airtime, but I like floater time more than the ejector. I don't like being thrown up against my restraints or that kind of stuff, which is the only reason why this is number 2. Overall, this is a awesome ride. I mean, it really is. It's a long ride. It's very, very fun. Has a lot of cool elements to it. It's hard to beat.
And I like Maverick, but I would put this above it just because this has some rapid transitions like Maverick, but it's smoother because you got lap bars. So
it's definitely smoother than Maverick.
And I'm sure Mean Streak would have been horrible. That's a picture of it.
And it's kind of fun going through the old style wood wooden coasters. It's kind of a throwback
massive
to
wooden structure.
Yeah, this thing is massive. I mean, walking up to it before we ever even got on it, I'm down at the bottom looking up, and I'm in awe at how much wood is involved in this thing. It's just thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of boards just in this intricate pattern. The amount of engineering that goes into it is really incredible. A whole lot more complex than the modern day steel coasters, which is really neat. It's a work of art as well as a great ride. So anyway, it's coming in at number 2 for me just because of the fact that Millennium Force was 300 feet tall. It's a giga coaster.
93 miles per hour.
93 miles an hour. It was very smooth.
Gave the best view by far out of
Yeah,
any
great
coaster at
view.
Cedar Point. Best view.
It wasn't throwing me around. Wasn't making my body hurt. It was just a very exciting, thrilling, fast ride that
long too.
and it was the first one we rode too.
No, it was on the second day.
On the second day,
Yeah,
the first
we
ride
rode,
of the weekend.
but then the second time we rode it in the front row, and it was a lot better.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, this is the only one that we rode twice. And
we rode Maverick and Steel Vengeance.
Well, that's true. I think that's the only one, but this one really stuck out in my mind as one that I enjoyed. It's the tallest one that I've been on, fastest one I've been on, and it was just really exhilarating. And again, like I said, this is something that's smooth enough that an older guy like me, I could ride this over and over. If there's a station wait, I could get right back on it again, do it again, again, and again. It's just that exciting and that fun. So that's why Millennium Force is taking number 1 for me. So thanks a lot for watching my video, and I hope you have a great day.
Bye, guys.